I reached through, and it was a foot.
No! Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Mama Dr. Jones, a board-certified ObGyn and mom to 4, and it's everybody's favorite time of the month. Much better than that other time of the month where we review an episode of TLC's famously entertaining I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant and ruin it with educational commentary. Now, I just want to let you know, I didn't know what episode I was going to watch today, but someone in the comments of the last one said that I needed to watch the baby at the rest stop episode. So Sissy has set the bar high by saying that this episode might be better than the boat episode, which I don't know if you all remember, but was possibly the greatest episode of television ever filmed in the history of television. And we're gonna watch the rest stop video today. If you're new here and you'd like to subscribe, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss that time of the month. Let's jump into the video. This video is kindly sponsored by Function of Beauty, and we'll hear more about them in a minute.
18-year-old Stacy is in love with the man of her dreams. After 2 years of dating, the young couple ties the knot. Money is tight, so the newlyweds live with Stacy's mother.
Stacy and I get along really well. We always have.
They look so much alike. Genetics are crazy. Like, they are identical twins. That's so crazy.
But for Stacy, there was a problem that arose in adolescence.
I was 12 years old when I started my period. About a year after that, I stopped.
When you first start your period in adolescence, for the first 4 to 5 years, having a really irregular cycle is pretty normal, but you still should have that looked into if it's 7 or 8 months at a time. I suspect, based on the way that they've set this up, that she will likely be diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a hormonal disorder. I have a whole video about it if you want to learn more about it, and ovulating less frequently means less opportunity to make a baby.
I've had a chance to look over your ultrasound.
I was diagnosed with polycystic ovaries.
Wait, was that? Hang on, I want to see the ultrasound again. The ultrasound picture they're showing here is an ovary with some cysts, but that is not a polycystic ovary with like polycystic ovarian syndrome. The cysts that you get with polycystic ovarian syndrome are tiny cysts and they go around the outside. I'll have our editor put in a ultrasound of an actual polycystic ovary here. Although technically, yes, polycystic ovaries could mean just an ovary with many cysts, but in the context of what we're discussing here, PCOS as a diagnosis, it's a specific type of teeny tiny little cysts around the outside, which are follicles which have not quite gotten developed to the point of ovulation, which is why you don't ovulate, which is why you don't have a period.
She told me that I would only have a 12% chance of conceiving a child naturally.
Where does that number... I hate when doctors do this. That is like not an evidence-based number, and also you should never lead people to think that they can't get pregnant unless there is a really good reason, such as they don't have any ovaries. That's almost the only reason. Like, PCOS definitely decreases your opportunity per year to get pregnant if you're ovulating less frequently, but you don't just have a 12% lifetime chance of pregnancy with PCOS. That's insanity. What?
To be told that you can't have children when that's one of your ultimate wishes throughout life, I was so crushed.
That's really sad because she also was a teenager at that point, it sounds like. That is so sad. And also, I hate that doctor who said that. That's what a terrible thing to tell someone. And also, where did you pull that number from?
Chris and I had been sleeping together unprotectedly for about a year, and nothing had happened. We deserved to have the perfect little family that I had always wanted.
So that is, by the way, the definition of infertility and would be a reason to have a workup or evaluation. If you have been having unprotected intercourse with someone who can get you pregnant for a year and have not conceived, then that would be a reason to come and see a gynecologist or a reproductive endocrinology doctor for an evaluation to determine what the reason is.
We started discussing moving to Washington.
Washington just made sense, that I could make enough money to give her the life that I feel she deserves.
It was a lot for me to deal with. It was probably 2,200 miles across country to Washington.
She plans a cookout to discuss the moving plans with her mother.
And my stomach started cramping up real bad. It felt like something was moving, like my intestines were shifting.
I want to know when her last period was, because if you feel like something's moving, take a pregnancy test.
It was most likely just the macaroni salad that, wasn't sitting well.
It's never the macaroni salad. Do you hear me? It's never the macaroni salad. Unless it's food poisoning, and then it might be the macaroni salad.
The young couple prepares for their 2,000-mile cross-country move.
I found 2 pairs of jeans, and one of them fit a little tighter than I remembered. I chalked almost everything up to the stress of moving. I was stressed out and eating too much.
This is a classic thing we see. If you try on your pants and they don't fit, most people chalk it up to whatever they've been eating or their activities. And yeah, I mean, that's natural, right? Most people, if they're gaining weight and their clothes don't fit, it's not usually pregnancy that they don't know about. So I never blame them for that part.
Chris stuff the last of their belongings into their car and say their goodbyes.
It was a really emotional goodbye.
I'm a little emotional watching this, having just in the past 6 months had to hug our family goodbye as we moved across the world to Aotearoa, New Zealand. I'm still picturing my mom walking away in the airport, and my children being absolutely just so sad. But it's been a good move. We're all very happy, but it's close to home right now, y'all.
We drove through the afternoon. We finally decided that we were gonna call it quits that evening at around 9 o'clock. We pulled into a rest area.
Oh, it's the rest stop. This is where it's gonna happen. This is the rest stop. Okay, I'm holding the commenter up to their comments. This better be good.
I noticed at around 5 I had to go to the bathroom. So I went to stand up and get out of the car, and I thought I peed myself. I went into the bathroom and I realized that it wasn't pee. It was this clear liquid.
Amniotic fluid.
Anything female related, I chalk it up to polycystic ovaries.
Doesn't cause that.
I assumed that it was the cyst rupturing.
If a cyst ruptures and causes fluid to be leaking, that would be into the pelvis, like inside your belly. You wouldn't be able to see that from the outside.
I explained to Chris what was going on.
I asked her what she wanted me to do. She said just get some sleep and I'll do the same and we'll start anew in the morning.
Around 7 in the morning, I started having cramps.
I tried to convince her. I was like, I don't want anything bad to happen to you.
Keep driving, I'm just gonna meditate.
She said, keep driving, I'm just gonna meditate. I'm in early labor with a baby I don't know's in there, and I'm just gonna meditate this away.
It's 7 o'clock in the evening. The cramps were about 45 seconds apart.
Labor?
Extremely, extremely painful.
We were in the middle of nowhere. Our cell phone service had cut out. I stopped seeing hospital signs. I was getting really, really freaked out because I had no idea where I was going to go to take her if something bad had happened.
The couple decides to pull into a rest area along a remote stretch of highway.
I ran directly to the bathroom.
Is this gonna happen where they have no cell service in some random rest stop with? Oh my goodness, that is I'm stressed, y'all. That's stressing me out.
It felt like I was being torn in half.
Basically. Oh.
I reached down and I felt a bump or a lump. I assumed that I had begun to pass the cyst. Chris came in to check on me. I told him that I was passing the cyst and that he needed to call an ambulance.
Call 911!
We lost cell phone coverage about 300 miles prior to that. Luckily, that payphone was there.
She's screaming for me.
Yeah.
After I'd reached through and I'd felt the bump, I was scared to reach again. So it took me a few minutes before I reached through, and it was a foot.
No, it's footling breech. I hate it. Oh my gosh, I can't watch this. This is so stressful.
True or false? Babies are born with 300 bones, but by adulthood, we have only 206. Your answer when we return.
Thank you to the wonderful sponsor of today's video, Function of Beauty.
For some reason, over the past few months, my hair has just felt really dull and dry. So when I found out that Function of Beauty ships to New Zealand, I was thrilled. I have been a fan of Function of Beauty's customizable hair care products for a long time, and they're one of my favorite long-term sponsors on this channel. Function of Beauty creates hair care products specifically formulated to keep your hair healthy and gorgeous. You just hop on their website and fill out a quick quiz about your hair type and goals.
I went with deep conditioning and volume, and my hair already feels softer and more full of life.
Give the formula a name, which they print on the bottle. Mine says function of MDJ, which is super cute, and they mix it up and send it right to your door. For people who are sensitive to fragrances, they also have a fragrance-free option, which is something that is pretty difficult to find in hair care products. Their products are fully customizable, 100% vegan and cruelty-free, and contain no parabens or sulfates. So if you'd like to try out Function of Beauty and support my channel in the process, you can get 20% off your first custom order set and free shipping by clicking on my link in the description box down below. Now, let's get back to the video.
True or false? Babies are born with 300 bones, but by adulthood, we have only 206. The answer? True. The reason? Some bones fuse together over time.
Some bones fuse together over time, including separate sections of the calvarium, which form into one skull. But also, did you know that you were born without a patella, which is your kneecap, and you develop that as you get older? Now you know.
Little blue foot.
Blue?
I'm on the phone with 911.
Was that her really saying that? Footling breech is the absolute way. You don't want a baby to come out when you have no help, okay? I don't like it. What can happen with any breech, but particularly high risk with a footling breech, they should come out head first, right? That's the widest part of their body, and then that allows for the head to pass, and then everything that's smaller than the head comes after that. If they are frank breech with the feet folded up and they come out butt first, kind of the same thing. Still a little bit of an increased risk, but kind of the same thing. The bottom is as big as the head, or maybe just a little bit smaller. But when you come out feet first, you may be coming out through a cervix that's not fully dilated. And that can be extremely dangerous because the baby may come out all the way to the neck and then its head gets stuck. And this is called a head entrapment. When the umbilical cord is out because the belly's out and the cord goes up this way, it can become compressed, and this can cause major life-threatening issues very quickly. So seeing someone having a footling breech baby with no medical help who didn't even know they were pregnant is horrifying to those of us who know what can go wrong with a footling breech being delivered.
God, hold on. She said it was a baby. Lost hope. We didn't even know she was pregnant.
That's okay.
I'm gonna cry. I don't know if this is a really good actor, which would be surprising for this show, to be honest, or if that's the actual 911 call, but you can hear him go through the process of, we don't know what's wrong, something terrible, oh my gosh, it's a baby, we didn't know she could get pregnant, and then like starting to tear up because they were really wanting a baby and they didn't think it would happen, and now it's this emergency scary situation. Oh my gosh, my heart can't handle this.
As I'm looking down at the blue foot, I feared that the child wasn't alive.
Can you imagine how scary and terrible that would be, looking down and seeing a blue foot when you really, really wanted a baby and not knowing you were pregnant and being all alone? I can't. This is so sad.
I completely lost it. The one thing that I've always wanted, I'm getting it taken away from me.
This is horrible.
And I didn't even know I had it.
While I'm on the phone with 911, a truck driver came in to use the restroom.
I was taking a load to Canada, and I stopped.
Oh, they have the truck
at
driver.
Rest stop to take a little break. We're in a rest stop that has cement floors. They don't even have paper towels in bathrooms.
Okay, is he not the kindest appearing truck driver you've ever seen? Oh my gosh, he seems so kind. Probably was not on his to-do list for the night. Maybe it was on his truck driver bingo card, who knows?
I have to go in there and be with her right now. She's screaming my name. Oh my God. Baby?
Is this the real 911 call? That is horrifying.
A gentleman
He's
came
got a blanket.
in and asked me if I was okay. And I told him that no, I was not okay. I just want my husband.
So I simply hand the towel, and I immediately go back out.
But she just keeps screaming she needs me.
She screamed, "Get out!" I feel like, who knows how I would react, honestly. I certainly don't, but I feel like I would take help from anyone at that point, even a random truck driver that I don't know, but I can also understand that reaction as well.
I went over to the phone and give some information on where the rest area was exactly.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
When I got in there, I saw legs and I saw arms.
And arms. Okay, legs and arms is good. We've come out some.
I could feel the baby
It's good progression.
just dangling there.
Yeah.
I knew that was wrong, that, babies are supposed to come out head first.
They can come out feet first and bottom first. It's just less safe, okay? So it's not that you can't have a baby that way. It's just that it's got a lot of risk factors that go along with it for complications to both the person having the baby and the baby themselves.
I immediately start freaking.
I'll be right back.
I knew that I had to act.
I like the actor just gets in her face and yells, "I'll be right back."
I'll be right back.
TLC never disappoints with the acting.
All that mattered was getting the baby out.
By this time, he's no longer just arms and legs. Everything's out except the top of his head.
That's a good sign. That means the head's probably through the cervix.
It took one more big push, and the baby came out and landed on a towel at my feet.
The baby came out along with the placenta and everything at once.
With the placenta all at the same time, that is really scary and makes me think that the baby didn't have good blood flow during the process of delivery. Usually a placenta does not come out right with the baby. That is, I don't like that.
My heart just dropped. He wasn't breathing.
You can see how scary this was just by looking at their eyes when they retell it.
It took me a good 15 seconds to get my mind wrapped around everything that was happening. That I had just given birth to a stillborn baby.
The husband runs over to the phone. I walk back over to the bathroom and I poke my head in. There was no life signs. You know, the first thing you want to do is get a newborn breathing. Took it over and laid it by the sinks and then proceeded to try to clear its airway. It was pretty lifeless. I pushed on its chest just a little bit to kind of stimulate it.
He's gonna save the baby's life. This is so crazy. For the record, if you need to do CPR on a neonate, I know most of you will never be in that position, but 2 thumbs on the chest, wrapped around to the back, and doing compressions in that manner.
And it gave some kind of a half grunt, half cough, and that's the first sign that I seen that it was alive.
His eyes just exude kindness. I don't know what it is. He just looks like such a kind person.
The baby was alive, and that's all that mattered to me.
I hear her crying.
Oh, you heard it from outside.
Hearing those lungs, I knew that was what I needed to hear.
He's breathing, but I guess barely.
And we have lots of help coming for you guys, okay?
The mother looked good. Our main thing was the baby. I'm like, he's not moving. And his body temperature, just by touching him, was so cold.
Yes, super, super important. If you have a baby out somewhere, you need to get it skin to skin. That's the safest place to keep baby warm. And losing heat is a really common thing that happens, especially in a preterm baby. If you're not immediately resuscitating, you need the baby skin to skin. That allows for heat transfer between you, who is a normal body temp, and the baby, who can't regulate its temp on its own.
When you go to a scene, you try to not to have a lot of emotion, but it does hit you. This is bad.
I really resonate with that. We try to be very stoic, and that doesn't mean I don't connect with my patients and show emotion to my patients, but in emergencies, you have to be very stoic, and a lot of times you will leave that, and it will just rush over you, and it can be overwhelming. That's why therapy is important. You should have a therapist that you can debrief with about things like this.
I cut the umbilical cord, and then I loaded the mother into the ambulance.
I hope that she tied off the umbilical cord before cutting it, because the baby can bleed out through the umbilical cord. So always put a tie on that. And if the placenta's inside still, you need to put a tie on both sides. If placenta's already delivered, then just a tie on baby's side.
The rest area is 90 miles from the nearest regional hospital. That takes us over an hour to
90
get there.
miles.
In that time frame. There's so many things that can go wrong.
I just prayed and drove.
Can you imagine how scary making that drive would be by yourself, not knowing what was going on in the ambulance, and just, oh my gosh, an 90-minute drive, oh my goodness.
We arrived at the hospital, and they immediately took the baby from me. He weighed 4 pounds, 2 ounces, and
He's probably like 34 weeks. Man, that's even scarier to be footling breech and preterm, because they have a different body distribution, and just you're more likely to have complications with a small baby that's born footling breech.
Figured that he was between 34 and 37 weeks. I knew that one of the only reasons that he was hooked up to all of this stuff was because I didn't take care of myself while I was pregnant.
We go over this in every episode, but you do the best you can with the information that you have. Nobody watches this and thinks, yeah, this person didn't want to take care of a pregnancy if it happened. That's very obvious that they want to have a healthy baby. This family really wanted a baby. And it is really hard, I'm sure, in this situation to not look back and feel guilty, but you can't blame yourself for things that you didn't have the information to know at the time. So I think this is a great lesson for life in general. You do the best you can with the information that you have.
After waiting 7 long days, the doctor finally delivers some good news.
He says his breathing's strong and he's one of the healthiest babies that we have checked in right now.
Look at that teeny tiny peanut baby. He is so cute. Oh my gosh. My twins were that small when they were born, and it's so crazy holding a baby that small, putting it in a car seat to go home at 4 or 4.5 pounds is, yeah. Oh my gosh. You could also see in that shot he has something on his head, and they've got an IV access on the baby's head, which is always a jarring thing as a parent to look at, but it is a way to get IV access in some of the bigger places that are easier to access. So it's a common place to put an IV in a neonate, especially a preterm baby that may need access for longer. Ideally, they would put it in the umbilical cord. You can go through the umbilical cord for that, but if the baby was born outside of the hospital, they may not have been able to still access the umbilical cord at the time that they arrived at the hospital.
Not once did I ever suspect I was pregnant.
Periods?
I did get upset stomachs.
Periods?
I was eating too much. I had just assumed that it was from the stress of
Periods.
Chris and I getting ready to move.
They never comment on her periods, which I suspect were very irregular given her PCOS, and probably was why she didn't make anything of it. Even if your periods are always irregular, if you're not having regular periods and you're having sex with somebody who can get you pregnant, you need to be taking a pregnancy test at least every once in a while.
Everything I've ever wanted is right here.
Oh my gosh. That's so
little
sweet.
Man.
He's so tiny.
The doctor told me that he was doing amazing and that we could take him home.
They named their son
Rear facing.
Andrew Sean.
Good job, Mom and Dad.
I chose the name Sean
Andrew Sean.
to honor the truck driver that helped me and Chris deliver him.
Stop! They named him after Mr. Kind Eyes. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. And then he came on the show with them. That's adorable.
I was honored. What better ending is that than a baby that is alive and well?
I hope that you learned something today, y'all. That was such a sweet story. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. If you're not subscribed, we'd love to have you. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you never miss that time of the month, and I will see you next Monday.